Hey, welcome back, everybody. John here with Havoc Maker Studio, and we're going to be talking today about Infinity from Corvus Belli. If you're not familiar with that game, they have the Infinity actual tabletop game. It's a skirmish-based game where you have small squads from different nations battling it out, including aliens. They also have the Aristia. It's kind of like a kind of a Blood Bowl arena match combat. Everything that they do with their miniatures are essentially not interchangeable, but if they've got their small dungeon explorer games like Defiance, what it sounds like with the Infinity Deathmatch Tag Raid, which we're going to talk about, and the Aristia, those models can be used in the main Infinity game. So a lot of really cool things that are going on with their system. They put out some of probably the most gorgeous miniatures out there, mostly white metal. They do have some plastics, I think some resins, but overall white metal. So there is that little bit of a problem with that. But if you're one of those type of people that like those type of models, cool, you're set. And it doesn't require a lot of income to be spent on these models, unlike other games like Games Workshop, Privateer Press, and such that require these massive armies. You can actually have a very in-depth, very, very personal game with Infinity. Corvus Belli puts out some of the best stuff. So what we're going to talk about right now is Infinity Deathmatch. It was actually announced a couple days ago. I've been trying to dig up some information on this, but their press release as well as their website for this is very sparse. As you can see down here, there's going to be a crowdfunding campaign. The last crowdfunding campaign they had was with the Defiance, a kind of a survival board game. So we're going to watch this video and then we're going to talk about this. I'm going to show you some of the things that we're kind of expecting to see. So here we go. Let's get the volume up here. It looks to be one of their tags weapons. Okay. Infinity experience on a scale you've never seen before. Okay, some of the same stats. Infinity Deathmatch Tag Raid. Okay. Not a lot. Not a lot to work with there, folks. But it's still overall a very good sign. Let's get rid of this and bring this back. It's definitely interesting. It definitely got my attention. If you get a chance, you can type in Infinity the game Defiance. Take a look at that Kickstarter that they did. Very successful. I wish I would have joined in on it at the time. I kick myself for missing it because there's a few miniatures in there that I would have loved to get my hands on, and that would have been it. I don't need the game itself. I just want the miniatures. So we don't have a lot of information to go on. There's not a lot out there. They're being very tight-lipped about this. At first, I was like, is this going to be like a MOBA? Is this going to be some sort of battle royale video game? It still could, but I think from some of the information that we do have is that this game is going to have miniatures that can be used in Infinity the game. And it looks like it's going to be a survival arena game. So how all that works, I don't know. So what are tags, or what is a tag raid? Well, tags are tactical armored gear. These are basically piloted suits, piloted mech suits, or maybe piloted power armor. It's in between power armor and a mech. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the images. So we got Stallion Jack here. This is actually a name tag from the Outrage comic that came out a couple years ago. It's actually piloted by somebody. It didn't last long, but absolutely amazing comic. And the miniature, the pilot baby, looks really awesome. I wish I had a model for this. Well, actually, there might be a model out there. I just had to do some converting. Anyways, if you can see here in the center torso, just below his head and a little bit to the left, you can see another littler arm. That is, the pilot sits in there. And so he's able to still manipulate stuff with his arms. They're a little bit more armored because it's exposed. But generally speaking, this is the suit. So it could be mech, could be power armor, somewhere in between. Then we have the Salamandra. This is still human. I don't know why it's got the tail. Maybe for balancing. Same thing. This is just from one of the different stellar nations. Really cool miniature. I've got this miniature. Really enjoy it. I'm sorry. No, I've got this one, the iguana. I've got this one. I really like this. And really cool. Overall, their design concepts are cool. If you're familiar with Appleseed, Appleseed is a anime from Japan that they feature these suits called landmates that are very similar in their overall build, especially with the arms, where the pilot sits in the torso, how it operates on the battlefield and whatnot. So very similar to landmates. I'm not saying that they stole it, but pretty gosh darn close. And here's another one, a gecko. They've got a variety for the different alien species, and for the 12 different nations. Actually, I think there's six or seven major nations, and then around 5 or 6 minor nations. And so they've got all these wonderful suits, really gorgeous. So what does this mean? That it's going to be as the video said, it's going to be on a scale never before seen. Are we going to be going small scale, like 15 millimeter, almost like if you're familiar with Epic, or maybe along the lines of, what would you call it? Team Yankee or Flames of War? I doubt. I think since it's a survival and an arena combat style game, if it is miniatures, we're pretty much assuming it is, then I think we're going to actually go up in scale. And because I think right now they're sitting around the 32 millimeter true scale, we might see them go up to, say, maybe even 54 millimeter, not true scale, but 54 meter. Well, I guess it would be true scale, much larger scale. That's the only thing I could think of. And maybe with a lot of different options, we might actually see them make their way really into the multi-part plastic kit realm with this box. It's something they're going to be we need to pay attention to. And as we get closer to that fall crowdfunding date, we're going to definitely be going to be covering that. I'm probably going to participate because I'm a big fan of the miniature line. The games so far I'm kind of in between on, but that's a personal thing. It's nothing against the games. The games are solid, but I don't know. I just like the miniatures. I just want to collect my little toy soldiers, build them and paint them and put them on a shelf and admire them. But so as more information pulls out, we're going to go ahead and cover it. So expect more. My guess is, since this just dropped on March 15th, my guess is that sometime in the next quarter, so I'm going to guess June-ish, is we're going to get June, we'll get our next update. And then August will be our next update after that. We might actually, once we get to that next big update, or the first big update, we're going to maybe even monthly have some updates as they start to build the hype for the crowdfunding. Definitely, as we get closer to the crowdfunding date, we'll see an increase in advertisements. So expect all that to happen. This is good overall because there are a lot of games out there on the market, and but they're not all high quality miniatures. They're not high quality games. And one thing that Corvus Belli does do is put out both. And it's always story driven. They have their worldwide campaigns for Infinity that does literally, the results do affect what happens in the next seasons. They do a very, very good job. I wish they were just on a larger scale, like Games Workshop style. But on the other hand, it really allows them to do a lot more by not being so profit driven as Games Workshop is. Games Workshop is more profit driven, and I mean they're all looking for a profit, but looks like Corvus Belli concentrates more on the story, the quality of their product, than just pushing tons and tons and tons of content on a weekly basis over, say, somebody like Games Workshop, or to a lesser degree, Privateer Press. Privateer Press is, I'm not sure where they're at in the whole realm of things right now. They've kind of fallen off the face of the planet because of their third edition and some missteps with product releases and getting rid of the press gangers and all that jazz. But that's another video. All right. This is probably the shortest video of today. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that follow button down below, and also, or the subscribe button. Make sure you also leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Infinity Deathmatch Tag Raid and the Infinity game overall. If you've got some bits of information of what, some solid leads, man, hit me up with a comment. Hit me up with an email, anything. Just let me know what you guys are thinking. Biggest thing is leave that comment, leave a subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and it helps get that the analytics, or not the analytics, but the algorithms that YouTube uses to get my channel out there. But also, I really do need that feedback. I really want to hear what you guys have to say, not just on this, but what you guys think of this. All right, you guys have yourself a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later.